Alright, hey everybody, welcome back. So, I was going to do some sort of a reveal on these, but fuck it. You know what I mean? It's kind of lame anyway. So, you guys have been watching my channel. If you've been following, you know I'm really more of a box fan guy. That's what got me started on all this. And I always said if I ever picked up a table fan or desk fan that it would have to be something pretty special. And as you can see, we do have something pretty special, and we'll get into that in a second. Actually, it was the two together that I got a chance to look at, and you know, this it turned out to be a little nicer than I thought it would be, and we'll take a look at that. It's called Made Right, but I wasn't really interested in that. I was interested in this. The lighting kind of sucks here. So I don't know if this is going to go very well for a video. If you're seeing it, it went all right. If you're not seeing it, then I reshot it. So that's the plan. We're going to take a look at this. This is an Emerson 16-inch 6-blade model 19666. And we're going to take a closer look at it. All right, this is a little better. Getting a lot of glare from the window. I really wanted to shoot this for you. You know, during the day. Now this is an Emerson 16-inch 6-blade. I know very little about these. It's older than I thought it was. I was under the impression it was from the 20s, but this is an earlier model. It does not oscillate. It's not an oscillating model. This is more the standard model. We'll take a look at the nameplate and everything in a second. One of the things that you could tell, the wire for the cage wraps around the outer rim here. The later ones just come across. So that was the first thing I noticed. We got our Emerson badge. You got your patent blades. I forget what the name of the guy that invented these blades are. Leaf type blade. It's not totally stuck, but it's not good. I really don't think this has been running a long time. So there you go. We have a pretty Art Deco base. I must have it turned around right now because there's your power switch. Maybe we'll set it up and turn it around the right way when we get a second. And let's look at the motor. So we've got the cast base with the speed switch thing. Okay. We take a look here, and we've got Emerson patented serial number 110 volts 30, what does it say? What does that say? 60 cycles. That's what we would expect it to say. Sorry, it's hard to read. And then we have model 19666, 60 watts. Most of it seems to be intact. We've got both of the bronze screws for the mount. Whatever, there's a name for that. I forget what it's called. If we look here, we have the end screw and the filler cap thing, which has this spinning thing. I don't really know how any of that functions. Hold on, I'll show you a little more. Now again, I don't know much about these, but one of the interesting things I saw is that this has cast into it a little lip on the side of the motor housing, on the bottom rather. This is the bottom of the motor, so that if it's flips, it doesn't flip all the way under over and catch the blade here. Maybe that's probably what that's for. I believe that this is designed so that you can hang this on a wall. Also, instead of using it just as a table fan, you could probably put that on a wall, and that's why this whole thing is set up the way it is, I think. Our head wire, unfortunately, is broken at the motor housing, which that's no good. But that does kind of look like the original head wire. The power cord is not, I really doubt. Obviously, it's got this funny Bakelite dealy on it. But it's got a lot of the dust. You've got a really gorgeous cast base with the swivel, you know, swivels around. These fasten up, tighten up pretty good. And it's quite an interesting old fan. I mean, it's like I said, it's very stuck. It's not in running condition in any way. So it would need to be fully rewired and cleaned and oiled, all that stuff. And from the few videos I've looked at, these motors are pretty unique and kind of strange. This is the larger motor. I think people call this a tank motor, the tank motor, which is a nickname for it. Now, seems like the oscillating versions had a smaller motor, so this is the motor that went on the standard versions. Don't know much about it, really. One thing I noticed, if we look at the cage, it seems to be a little squished. I think these all are at sort of an angle. And if I'm correct, they shouldn't be. If I'm correct, they should all be straight. So it could be that this has been sort of squished a little bit. Who knows what's really happened to this, but none of the blades hit. It's got plenty of room in there. So, yeah, it's a fascinating fan. Maybe someday we'll be able to get it going. But it was really cool to be able to get the opportunity to get the first crack at it. So there's your 6-blade Emerson. I wanted to show you one other thing. Now underneath, sorry for the lighting, but where the switch is, we have sort of a fibery plate and a ceramic fixture, which must be the speed coil and the switch. There's no base cover, and the enamel, if it is enamel, is pretty shiny underneath. The only thing I noticed is that on my granite surface here, it didn't sit exactly flat. One of these came off, and this could be what used to be some sort of a rubber foot or something. I don't know. This came off when I moved the fan I had it wrapped up in a towel. So I don't know what that actually came out of. But there's, from the back, there's your Emerson. So there it is once again, the Emerson model 19666. It's a pretty big fan. It's hard to get the whole thing in the picture, but it's really something. Who knows if it'll ever actually run? You know, it's a little out of my scope, electrically speaking. You know, I don't even know if the motor comes apart. There's the 4 grade mounts, and then maybe it starts to come apart. I don't really know. It looks like you could do way more damage than good if you didn't know what you were doing, and that's why I don't plan to touch it. I'm just gonna leave it for now. It's nice to have found it. It won't get broken for parts, you know. I'm gonna keep it intact, you know. The art of collecting, you know, you're looking for these if you need a grate, or if you need blades for an oscillator. Then you take one of these, which isn't an oscillator, and you break it for parts. But I don't plan to do that, so we're gonna keep it as it is for now. It's pretty freaking cool, and it's not the kind of thing you find at garage sales anymore, anywhere. So again, we've got super cool bass. Trundle? Did they call this a trundle? The model that I just looked up some information about the year, and it sounds like for this model fan, again to my surprise, we're looking at 1914 to 1917. Brass blades and grate, and then I think at some point it sounds like they might have changed to steel blades. So this is before the 20s. This is a 19-something. I don't know. We'll call it 1916 just for good measure. The reason I'm saying later is because it looks like it has the pressed. This is all I just literally just read this stuff on a website. But the hub for these blades, the early ones was cast, and then later ones they switched to a pressed piece of metal, and that looks more pressed than cast. Who knows? But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe I'm wrong. So there you go. This is a pretty crazy fan. All right. So anyway, like I said, it doesn't run. It might not ever run. This blade here looks like it was kind of bent a little bit. You see that? That's a bummer. But we don't really care that much. You know, if you were going to get into it, then you would set all those things right as best possible. For me, It's hard to see in here, I'm sorry, but the paint is really nice. So the thing to do would be to do an electronic and a mechanical rebuild, but not mess with the paint. I have a feeling that under this dust there's a good amount of paint or enamel. This could be enamel, I don't really know. What do you think? Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this fan. If you have any other information, things I might be wrong about that I don't know. I'm not any kind of an expert on these, but it's pretty darn cool. So thanks for watching. It's been a bleak fanless winter. Hope you're weathering it well. And Emerson, model 19666. So dig that. Thanks for watching.